These 3Rs medias could be fully functional if I really wanted them to be. He only has a couple of problems. He has that gear in the torso, which Kevin's sending me a new one, and then he needs to have his screws tightened up so that he can walk straight like he used to. What are his other problems? I think that was it. Oh yeah, the wire on the position sensor, because when the time comes where it gets worse till it only stays to the side like him. Yeah, I don't need that replaced, but I'm scared that the screens will break. Like, he only has two problems. He has the fingers, which I could either switch him out with his, or his, or I could try that fishing line thing. But I'd be scared that his screen was breaking because it was starting to break a while ago. But even when I took it apart this time, it was actually still working, which surprised me. And his position sensor is really bad. Well, it's his wires. But he only has two problems. Unless the screen goes out, then that's three. Because he still walks good, even though all his grips are uneven. But he only has two problems as well. The neck snapping and the camera. These three can be fully functional. They just need some parts swapped out. But then my first and second ones, my first ones ever, will be kind of ones that don't function at all, and yet they're the first ones that started this. But I don't really know what I want. To keep the first ones the way they are, or just to have three fully functional ones, if that works. Because there's a problem. Yeah, his camera still works, but is it going to work when I try to put it in him? Because I'm touching those ribbon wires. If I'm touching those wires, it most likely can break. I think the second generation one is probably the cheapest one made because that screen is his screen and it broke just by me touching those ribbon wires. That's all it took. And then I touched his ribbon wires for the camera and the head when I opened it up before. Very lightly. That's all it took. And the camera was dead. These ones actually, I've touched their screen ribbon wires a couple of times and they still work. So I think there's a fault with the second generation. Like, their parts are really cheap somehow. So I think the first generation is no better, but I think the third generation is quite a bit better. I mean, yeah, they get 2 out of the fourth or third generations have the same exact problem where they don't reset, which is kind of weird. I guess that's their common problem. But they seem to work a lot better. They usually walk in circles sometimes. Well, this one and this one did. Kind of. He didn't, but he really did. But, yeah, I don't know what I should do. Just keep them the way they are, just to keep them original, or swap some things out to have 3 fully functional ones that I can actually show off and present like I want to do. But, I don't know.